All right, just have a look here. Now, we're going to be working with a chair. Now, when you're in this position, I want you to see that you're using a chair. Why? Why would you use a chair when we've got all those beautiful asanas? Well, to get the most out of your asana, you have to have an open body. You want to get open. Now, when the knees are really tight, you want to see that you just energize. And what I'm doing here is pushing down with the buttock bone and then hooking the arm. So it's not dissimilar to the Marishasana that we've just done. Very, very similar. So we're in this position, rolling the top shoulder back and down, being here, and then extending the arm up. So hopefully you're working with me. Now, you want to ground down into that lower leg and lift up through the center of the body, and then see, now you're finding that familiar action. Now, what I want you to do is to get as much length as possible and move the frontal shin. You can see I'm moving the front shin forward, forward, forward. I'm moving, moving, moving. And then I bring the hands into a prayer position. So I want to see that the thumbs come onto the chest and I open in this way. So we are seeing if the back body is acknowledging any of this action. Okay, and then we come out of the pose. You can use your arm to help steady you, balance you. So if you found with any of that the balance was really quite a challenge, then don't worry about that. Find a wall, so you've got a wall nearby. You can always put your hand onto the wall to give you a little bit more stability. All right, have a look and see. Now, how we're going to practice this is, again, in the same way. We want to see that when we come into this action, firstly, we're grounding down with that back leg. And the key thing here is to just wait for a moment and let the buttock move down. And then this head shin extends forward. And get this connection. Get this lift, get this understanding and awareness. Then the arm comes up and over. You want to open that hip joint. Soften your belly. Get that length. Get the length through the side waist. And then once you feel you've got all of that extension, take your hands into a prayer position. Now, they're not there for decoration. The hands are not for decoration. You want to move the dorsal spine in. You can see this action. Dorsal spine in. And then extend and come up and stand in Tadasana. So depending on the pose, depending on the demand of the pose, will depend how long you stay in your Tadasana. But I want you to come back to that breath again. Hands beside you and reach those arms down, lift up through the center of the body. Just take a few deeper, longer inhalations. Soft inhale, soft exhale. Okay, just watch for a moment. Now, with all standing poses, particularly the lateral ones, you've got to hold your body up. This means to say that these back muscles need to be really nice and broad. And to do this, we come into the Gumbalkasana action. So those of you who need to have a belt to catch, then use a belt for the palms and be in this position and lift up, reach up out of the pelvis. Get that turning action of the shoulders. So there's a slight lift and rotation if you can manage it, and go up, go up. So those shoulder blades move in really strongly. So getting all of that length, all of that length. Okay, well done, and stand in Tadasana and wait for a moment. I know some of you have started the other side. Come back to Tadasana. So be mindful of this. Such a beautiful action, such a wonderful way of working. Let the shoulders release down, let the arms release down, and the center of the body to go all the way up. Now, whilst you're in Tadasana, I want you to just visualize and sense a pile of books on your head and go all the way up towards the ceiling. So it's a soft inhalation and exhalation. Just be there. Examine, explore. Okay, and release them, release them. So just have a look now. I'm not going to use the chair, but those of you who've got difficulty in the knee, difficulty in the hip, then by all means do take the chair, no problem at all. I'm going to put a couple of bricks here like this. Might want to have it like that, we'll see. So if you're working on the chair, you can still work on the chair. Just have a look at the screen, you'll be able to see the variation. So we're coming for Parshvakonasana, reaching that really long extension, that long reach that we did on the chair, pushing down into the back foot. Now my hand's flat here. Now my arm is pushing this inner thigh away. It's really giving it a good stability. So you want to see that you get in that. All of this side waist is coming forward and I'm getting the rotation. And then the arm comes over. So it may be that you want to go a little bit lower than these bricks here, but you notice my hand was flat. My hand was flat. So come on, let's have a go. If you haven't already started, and I will do the other side. So when we're here, we're coming into some of that teachings on that Vibhadrasana 2 action, that action of preparation, lengthening, getting all of that nicely. Then taking your hands down to the support, pushing back, lifting up nicely, extending up and over. So you may want to go down onto a flatter brick maybe, but be sure you don't lose the integrity of the angle or the rotation, the opportunity to rotate the upper chest. And then once you're done, then coming up. Okay, so have a go on both sides if you haven't already, remembering that you can always stop the video. Okay, so stand in Tadasana. Stand in Tadasana, feet together. Roll your shoulders back and down. Let the arms just release. And again, be aware of this lift through the center of the body, that grounded action of the thighs and the legs. And again, just take a moment. Take a moment to let those arms completely release. So these pauses in your practice become really important. They're important pauses, ready to move on to the next pose. So just have a look. We're coming into Prasarita Padottanasana, and we're going to come in different ways now. We're going to use the arms, so just have a look. Now my first action is extend the arms in this way. Now I'm not going to push them away from me. I want the arms to ground down so my chest is lifted. So if you're working with me, then extend down in this way, lift up with the chest, pin those shoulders back really nicely, extend forward. So be here. Then extend those arms as far away as possible. So you don't want them coming over your head. You want them really to stabilize the grounded action of the shoulder blades towards the back waist. Now, those of you who have got quite a lot of agility, you want to really push those arms back. I'm resting my head to the floor, but I mean, you can rest your head onto some support that may give you a little bit more stability. But remember, why are you working the arms? You're working the arms for the shoulder blades. So this action needs to happen, that pulling down, shoulder blades moving down, really getting that grounded element in the action. Okay, so that's the first way we're practicing. And let me just show you the second way we're going to practice. So we're folding the arms this time. So we are working so that we're opening the chest, lifting those pelvic rims up. Pelvic rims up. And then we extend forward. So it's a slightly different action. And resting the head down. Okay, so those are two ways of working with the arms and keeping the chest and being sure that those legs are really nice and stable. So if you feel that it's a little bit imbalanced, then you can always take your hands down. Now the next way we're going to work is holding onto the big toes, but I just want you to have a look here. Those of you who find it difficult to reach the floor, then you can always put the bricks nice and wide in this way. So this is a nice way of working, even if you can catch your big toes. So I'm going to catch the big toes and be in this position, pushing into the outer foot bones and bend the elbows. Now what's going to happen is you want to roll your buttock skin and flesh towards the back waist. Pull up the kneecaps and thighs and rest down. Okay, so whichever way you're working, then have a go at that practice. And once you've done all three and you've given them a good go, stand in Tadasana. We're coming for seated poses now, so you'll be pleased to know. So I'm going to take the brick behind me, but this time we're going to explore Marishasana 3. So it's a little bit more of a challenging pose, as many of you know. So pulling up your kneecaps and thighs, roll your shoulders back and down, keep that lift through the center of the body. Be there. And then we bend the right leg. So we're bending the right leg so that we can get this action of turning. Sitting a little bit higher up so that we get that turn. Now remember, we were working on the hips, so we want to see that we get some space in the hip area, but mainly to get this twist in the back, because quite often if we're here we just get such a small amount of twisting action. So you want to see that you're leaning back, keep this leg nice and straight and roll the shoulder in this way. Draw the abdomen to the spine, get this turning, and then see that you get this hook action. So you want to get as much connection with this upper arm and the outer thigh as possible. Coming into your Marishasana 3 action. Okay, and then releasing, keeping your legs nice and straight, lifting up, roll your shoulders back and down. Okay, so this time we're going to be bending the left leg, extending. Now hooking the arm again, But this time you want to see, you see as you go back, it's better to hold here to get this turning action. Now you can see on my back muscles, if I just go from here, I'm really not working very much. I can lift up, but it's actually not as much as what I would get when I'm in this position, this turning position. So this is what I want to go for, this turning action. Just finding that connection and then hooking the arm and seeing, can you get that connection of turning, opening. Such a strong action on the spine. Okay, well done. All right, and releasing, sitting in Tadasana. All right, pulling up the kneecaps and thighs and just having a look now. Marishasana 1. So we're coming for this action, and you can see with the 2 foam pads, it's really nice because I'm launching forward in this way. Now you can see that the arm is going down quite a bit. I want to see, can I hit my elbow towards the floor? It's quite a challenge to do that, but if you can, you know that you're getting more of a folded action here. So this would be really a good way of working. Okay, so if you're working with me, then change the legs, otherwise catch up. So I've just got to move my audio device. So again, harder to go down with that elbow. You want to see how far you can go. You might catch the skin fibers a little bit, but see if you can go down and cultivate that twisting action and hold. Okay, and then releasing, keeping your legs straight in Tadasana again. All right, so we're going to go again. This time you want to see, can you come forward? Now, when you come forward in this way, you want to see that you catch either the lower leg here, but this time, can you move the body groins deeply towards the spine? You see, I'm already in this position. Here, like this. I want to use my spine now to way down, and then bring the arm in this way. So you can see, Marishasana 1, quite a challenging action. Now there's lots of things you can do to change, improve the holding, so you can always use a bout. This is a nice way of working, but you want to see that you swing it. So it's quite interesting, you swing it around and catch it. That's how you use it. It's quite difficult and fiddly sometimes with a belt, but it's not that difficult with the straight leg arm. You just flick it around and see if you can catch. Let's do the other side now. So we're coming for Marishasana 1, and as I said before, you want to see that you're getting a really good forward action. Hold on to the leg. Let the spine encourage the fold. Then see, can you take your arm in this position, catch him, and then can you take the body down? So just being there, holding for a while, seeing that you're getting that action, seeing that you're coming forward in this way and letting the spine just do its magical job of weighting the body down and getting that length. All right, coming up and sitting in Tadasana. Roll your shoulders back and down, extend up. I really want to have a clear space when I come for my Shavasana. Some sometimes people do use blankets over their bodies because it weights everything down. But I find that actually you could get a couple of blankets just over the thighs in this way. So if you've got a couple of blankets, and it's quite nice to use them in this way, and soften your belly and just see that you come into your Shavasana. Let the feet fall out to the side and just be there.